Hi everyone.
This is Aishwarya. I am a co-founder of Grailmaker Innovations, and we're here again with another talk show on insights. And we have a wonderful guest here, and I'm really looking forward to talking to him. And his Professor Deepak Kumar Gupta, an assistant professor of English from Motilal Nehru College, Delhi University, and he's also a doctoral fellow in the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences, IIT Delhi. And there's a lot more about him, and that all of it we are going to talk here today. Professor Deepak, we welcome you to the show, and thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you so much for inviting me on this wonderful show. And uh, yeah, hope to have good chat with you. Thanks, Ashwarya.
Thanks, Deepak. So, Deepak, tell us about yourself. We know that you are an assistant professor. Tell us about your background. Like, how did you choose to take up, education as your profession? And yes, let's start it from there.
Yeah, so I think education, as always, for a person with disability, is not a smooth journey. So it was, of course, full of a lot of challenges and struggle. At least in the beginning, when I was in Bihar. So I'm brought up in Bihar. I was born there, and there was no facility of braille or devices, assistive technologies as we have nowadays in cities. So there, till 8th class, I was in a government school. Teachers were supportive. My school is Budhan Chaudhary Madhya Vidyalaya in Nokha. I'm originally from Nokha district, Rohtas, Bihar. So there I went. I didn't have a vision that much to see on the blackboard. So I would just listen the teacher and remember whatever being taught in class. I didn't have even recorder device. So I had to listen and remember. And that was, of course, not easy. But then my mind was trained that once gone, then gone. So I have to
Hmm.
be very attentive to the teacher. And then after the class, if some friends are generous enough to read out their notes, that I could do. But of course, there was limitations. Like anybody could read only to some extent. So during exams, I would take some one to do scribe for me, and I would dictate the answers, and they would do. Of course, they didn't have the guidelines of the scribe, how it works and all. I have to make the arrangement myself somehow. But then I was having at least enough memory to memorize that time. I wonder how could do that time. But then I managed that till 8th class, and somehow I got to meet a special educator who came to my school and told me about braille, and that was definitely a light bulb moment for a visual impaired person, if you say that. So there I got introduced to braille. There was a residential program of braille learning in my district, and there thanks to special educators, I could learn writing braille for in 1 month, and that was definitely a game changer. And then I got also to know that there are also special school for visually impaired. And then I came to Delhi and joined the Blind Relief Association. Of course, that was a watershed moment. One can say the life changing moment to be in the Blind Relief Association, Delhi. And because I had now braille books, I had now computers, I had my friends. I was independent reader. I mean, earlier I had to depend on someone else to read out, even dictionaries I had to use. So here, that was a journey. I mean, some teachers supported. I would sit with some teachers in the sun. I had some residual vision, and they would tell me the maths and all. But then in classroom, I have to depend on memory only. That was still 8th, and then 9 to 12 in Blind Relief Association, I could pull it back. Yeah, that was that.
Great. I mean, I see there's a lot of hard work, dedication, from where you came from and what you are now. Hats off to that journey, Deepak. My next question, Deepak, is about if we may know about your visual impairment. It looks like you've had this from childhood. If you may want to throw some light on what happened to your eyesight, and what are the assistive technology tools that you currently use to be independent?
Yeah, that's an important question. You know, earlier, as I mentioned, I didn't have any technologies. I had to manage with that human assistance as much available. When I came to Blind Relief Association at Computer Technology, I learned that we had recording devices and braille. Um, but then vision impairment comes with its own challenges, and I think one has to do some more efforts to get attuned to the new life. I am a person with vision impairment since birth, although during birth I could see better than I see now through eyes. I always tell people I don't see through eyes nowadays, I see from other senses. But then, to be precise, because people have curiosity about blindness, and they rightly should, people should ask. So I am visually impaired person, let's say on paper, almost 100%. I could see bit light. Um, I could see someone who is near me in sun, bright light. And but then if person is, let's say 10 100-meter away, I can't figure out who is that person. Or if someone sitting in the room with not that bright light, I cannot identify through vision alone. So I have to listen the voice, and if somebody has shaking hand, and I can recognize the person. So that's the way we manage. And so now technology has come out to be the greatest enabler. With the advancement of AI nowadays, we have such technologies like Envision AI, or we have even I'm able to do experiments with the latest Chat GPT or Gemini or Perplexity AI, and many more. Be My Eyes and all, seeing AI working great for us. Screen reader softwares, I really believe that the person who could think that a blind person can use the computers with help of screen reader is the greatest, revolutionary person in the realm of digital accessibility. Of the first revolution came with braille, and the second revolution for blind person, I think, is this accessibility feature on our smartphones, and screen reader software for the laptop, like NVIDIA and JAWS we use in daily life. So I got trained in the Blind Relief Association. Then I leveraged that facility when I entered the university space, the Ramjas College, graduation in English, then masters in St. Stephen's College, again in English, and then entered IIT Delhi, said to be the hub of assistive technology. Here I'm doing PhD currently, set to be completed, let's say, in a year or so. So here in IIT Delhi, we had latest technologies, and I could be introduced to the latest braille display technologies, new innovations happening in assistive technologies. I'm quite curious about that. I was, in fact, part of the Digital Accessibility Committee, interministerial by the UGC, and also the Ministry of Social Justice Empowerment under Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disability. So there, we suggested feedback also to make things accessible. But then, of course, these technologies work only if the system is accessible, accommodating the technologies. So the challenge is, of course, the digital accessibility, for which I've been fighting throughout. But yet we are able to find our way out through technologies coming up. So assistive technology, as I mentioned, screen reader on my phone, laptop, text to speech facilities, and then latest AI applications, readers like casual software systems, reading machines, and all playing great part. Yeah.
Thanks for that, Deepak. Like, I totally relate to you when you say assistive tech is an enabler in persons with visual impairment in their lives. How did you think of becoming a professor? Like, why? I mean, there's so many professions out there. Like, but why did you choose to teach and
Yeah.
dedicate your life to this particular field?
Yeah, that's a interesting question. Why did I choose? I'm from Bihar, and one curious thing happens in Bihar. Every parent wants their children to be IS officer, and as per data, there's large chunk of population. I mean, the educated youngsters who are getting into IS from Bihar, but of course they have a struggle. But then from beginning I didn't have, I mean, interest in anything else but teaching. It seems I was born for teaching. When I was in school, I would go and teach my juniors. Thankfully I had really much interest in English. I was fond of radio, All India Radio. I would listen English commentary. I would do English commentary when I was even in Bihar. So people were amazed that I didn't have dictionary to look at. I didn't have the books, print book to access for me, even braille books in Bihar. But I was still better on, relatively good at English. So that I carried on, and with help of some teachers who would teach grammar and all, do practice. I had a knack for English, and then when I came to Delhi, there I saw that there are many my friends who are struggling with English education. So I would help them, and of course I also got help from teachers here. So it seems it gives me satisfaction, a sense of satisfaction that I'm able to give back something which I am able to do. And English education is called, everybody knows that it's opportunity. It's a language of opportunity. It's no longer the colonial language. I mean, we are surpassing that phase. So uh, now through literature, which I found passion and my passion in, I do all sorts of literature through English, and I find that that mirror of life, that philosophy of life, beautifully encapsulated in literary texts, and which really makes me not only think but also feel certain things which otherwise we don't get to apprehend through other disciplines, it seems. So literature helped me a lot, and while talking to my students, discussing some poem, as I'm also a poet, I write poetry and I teach poetry. I find that we are talking about the life, the changing world itself through literature. I mean, and that's the best way to, through stories and poems, we can really paint the picture of the world in a way that any person can understand so easily. So it gives me happiness. So that's how I chose teaching. I'm happy with my profession in Delhi University, and thanks to my colleagues, friends at Motilal Nehru College evening, we are having good time there with students and colleagues.
So thanks for that, Deepa. Thanks for sharing your journey. My next question to you, is since you are a professor, I'm sure that you must be coming across many students. Some are sincere, some are mischievous. So how do you handle like when like, oh, my professor cannot see, so I can play my mischief. So how do you handle that situation?
That's a curious question. There are certain challenges being visually impaired while teaching to a large class, especially. If it is a smaller class, it's still easier to maintain that physical, let's say, proximity, because we cannot make eye contacts. Now all we have to rely on the voice and the proximity, where the students are sitting. So usually I walk in the class in the middle, the spaces, and I make a point, talk to students. So my usually teaching pedagogy is interactive, discussion oriented, and I try to make students speak up their mind. And also that makes me sure that, okay, students are attentive, they are listening me, and they are serious enough. They are able to participate. So for that, I go and talk to them. I go to different desks and talk to them. Um, Sometimes also uh, make some humor, so make them attentive, then on. So now challenges still come when there are there's a large group of students, and many of them are making noise. And this is a new normal. The students are using mobiles. Now we rely on mobile phones also for the text. The students are reading the soft copy. They don't have the hard copy. We also provide PDF files, so that is unavoidable. But then what if the students are using WhatsApp, Facebook, Insta, and all while class is happening? I go and ask students the question what I'm teaching to figure out. Yet, if I'm talking to first row, then the last row may talk among themselves. So I have to be on my toes all the time to figure out students are there with me. And those who are sincere students, they are very cooperative. I mean, the issues are not with the students who are willing to learn and they are with me. Only the students who are not attentive, who don't want to study. I mean, they are just there to get attendance mostly. So there we have to, I mean, figure out the ways out. So I have to be with them. I have to stand with them, um, before them, so that they see, okay, my teacher is here. Now I tell students at the outset that I'm a person with visual impairment, and vision impairment is not going to any be impediment for them. It's not a problem. It's rather it will add something new to their experience, their learning experience, and it will give some fresh perspective. We talk about disability because it's a matter of knowledge. Usually students just, I mean, get shocked sometime, or just they don't want to talk about disability because historically we have been taught not to discuss these things. But now I bring the fresh perspective. Disability is not matter to be hushed up. I mean, it's not matter to be hushed up. It matter to be talked, engaged, and research as a knowledge, valid form of knowledge. So it gives them message that I'm also one of them, normal being, and they enjoy. And many students tell me afterwards, after the semester, sir, why are you not going to teach us again? We are waiting for your class. So that's the achievement, it seems to me, and feel happy about them. But of course, certain students will always create havoc. It's not only with our class, with all the teachers.
Oh,
We find our ways somehow.
Uh, what I'm so happy to know that like you get to discuss disability in the classrooms, because I feel as students, they need to understand it's okay. It's not just about their education, because social issues be discussed in the classroom, and disability, making them aware of the disability and its requirements is such an important thing, and I'm so glad that you have been able to do that. My next question to you is, Deepak, we know that, education is such an important system in our country. There's so many scholars, like, what I, look at is, although everything is in place, um, the policies are in place, maybe for inclusion or accessible infrastructure, reservations, but still there is a gap. Like example, if I could, state few examples,
Mm.
still people with visual impairment are not allowed to take subjects of their interest.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot pursue this. This is where it ends for you. Or maybe there are no enough resources in the college or university where, in fact, some teachers, some professors may not even know about, brace and things like that. So what's your take on that? Because I see like you've been in the member, the UGC board, and you have also supported in making some policies. So what's your take on that in this way?
Yeah, you are right that students as well as teachers are unaware of the requirements of persons with disabilities, students with disabilities, even administration. Some of the administration people want to do genuinely something, but they are not having the adequate knowledge, awareness about them. And for that, we are there. I've been actively engaged in for furthering the cause of accessibility, so are accessible, making things accessible, um, and that be happening throughout my educational journey, because I've been, first of all, I have been paying for that. I've been bearing the brunt of inaccessible environment and educational ambience. So when I went in graduation, I knew there are certain things teachers don't know. They are, let's say, talking or and presenting something online, and they are not telling this in verbal, in words. So how can a visually impaired can understand things? Then with the shift to the digital education, online education with COVID onset. So there again, new unique set of challenges. When I came to IIT Delhi also, uh, but then I mailed the professors. I talked to the dean. I talked. So certain changes happen. Definitely, if you pursue it relentlessly, if you pursue it closely, things happen, although it takes some more efforts. Um, but then the way things happening, it's slow. And we need many more things to happen. We need to even expedite this process of accessibility. We have comprehensive guideline provided by UGC. I give feedback about. It's very comprehensive. It takes care of a lot of things, but the implementation is problem. Uh, Colleges have been mailed this guideline by UGC. University has the guideline, but implementation is not the priority yet. And also, even the Supreme Court, High Court, all the judgments are there. Our 2016 RPWD Act is still not implemented in Spain.
Yeah.
It seems priority is lagging behind, and we students, we have to always fight it out. I mean, we don't have any option. We have to be academician as well as activist. So what they call uh, activist academia, academic activism or so. So that we are doing in college also. Certain changes, we didn't have office of accessible education or AW in IIT Delhi when I came first. There are new challenges, but then I talked to the people around, and there is this office now working well. Still infrastructure accessibility is issue. In Delhi University, we have moved ahead with a lot of facilities now. Infrastructure accessibility and web accessibility are two areas we have to still work even more, and make things accessible.
So that get it. I really like the way you said, like, sometimes you have to put in the efforts instead of saying that this is not available, that is not available. I'm a firm believer of that because, the problem it does exist, but the solution, it could start with you itself.
Yeah.
What are the ways, Deepak? Now, everything, like if you say on paper, everything is, that in place, like you mentioned about the RPWD Act. So supposing, like, the reason I'm asking this is, where do students go? Like,
So,
if they're not getting admissions or if they're not getting certain reservations, like in a simple thing of compensatory time,
yeah, really.
I've seen that although, like you said, the circulars are uh, given to these universities and colleges. 1 hour for every 1 hour you have 20
20.
minutes
Mm.
compensatory time. But I've known students who said, no, ma'am, my university just gave me the old traditional half an hour additional time. So where is the gap? And, if students are facing such situations, where do they approach? What do you think is the right way?
So, in as per the guidelines, there should be a grievance mechanism in every college, every institution, and every university. But unfortunately, we don't have functional um, grievance mechanism. We have there on paper. Um, mm, but then, even if that doesn't work, it's also like India is vast country, and we have a lot of gaps in rural areas and the uh, city space. There, I was reading recently a report about accessibility in university campuses that was done on premier institution, and still there was a lacunae. I mean, more than 50% participants were PWDs said that we don't have the adequate facilities to promote our educational well-being, or even mental well-being, our full participation in everyday activities. So what about the rural areas? I mean, those institutions, universities, they don't have even resources. The problem is also that they don't have adequate resources. Now, what can make a change is the attitude. I mean, if teachers are sensitized, if they have adequate orientation, they can troubleshoot the problems on their local level, even in lack of resources. Um, Students should definitely approach the administration, the teachers, but then teachers should be aware of this. There should be orientation programs. We have faculty development program, refresher courses, which include disability. National education policy also envisions a barrier-free, inclusive education for all. There are provisions for persons with disabilities, students with disabilities as well. So we need an implementation of these guidelines. And if more teachers are aware, even if we don't have resources, they will be able to provide some support. And human support is the most important thing. Technology, yes, they can have assistive technologies through a lot of platforms online, as in Delhi, and a lot of NGOs like sactech.in, Saksham, and then we have Blind Relief Association, NAB, AICB. All these NGOs have also assistive technologies. If we go and buy, they can be ordered even in remote areas. So just awareness we need to have, and that can be done through training programs or induction programs. Certain elements are being included in orientation programs, FTPs, but they're marginal. We need to have a full-fledged program on taking care of disability and disabled students, their needs and all.
That's so true. That's definitely the need of the hour, Deepak. Uh, since we are coming almost to the conclusion, I have like a couple of more questions. Yeah. Deepak, like I see that you also write poems, and especially Urdu poems, and we are from Hyderabad, and of course Urdu and Hyderabadi Hindi are so different.
Yeah.
We are fond of Urdu and the beautiful poems written in Urdu. If I may ask you to, whatever comes to your mind, if you can recite us from one Urdu poem, please.
I call it Hindustani language. I feel the Urdu and Hindi are not two uh, absolutely separate, divided languages. They are our own everyday speech. So it's Hindustani as popularly used in also Bollywood. Cinema has made it more.
Yeah.
And I write in my own language, I say, rather than in Urdu specifically or Hindi. They are all together. So I write about disability. I think, and there is research. I'm doing research in disability studies only and literature at IIT Delhi here, and teach disability courses in Delhi universities, now new syllabus. So there we have certain poetry and all. Now, I also make a point to recite some easy poems from my end. Students enjoy. I have, I'm remembering, let's say, a few lines from Ghazal. So, yeah, I recite for it. So, people always ask us, how do we see the blind people? And, and there is curiosity. If you don't have vision, how do you navigate the world? How do you understand the world? And in that response, I wrote these lines. It goes like this. कान से नाक से कान से नाक से हाथों की छुअन से देखते हैं विषय थ्रू दीज अल्टरनेटिव सेंसेस हैं कान से नाक से हाथों की छुअन से देखते हैं हम वो नाबीना है जो पूरे बदन से देखते हैं वी आर द विजुअली impaired people who see through entire whole of our body. I mean, is the we are the whole body seer, as famously one of the scholars is put it. So, it's the whole body that helps us to see. It's not just reducing the all personality into eyes. I mean, we have multifaceted personalities and multiple ways of seeing and knowing. That's the point. Yeah.
Beautiful, Deepak. And I also see, like, your interest in Japanese language. Do you speak it? They speak the language?
Yeah, I learned it. It is a it was my part of passion. But I thought, why not visually impaired people should also have some foreign language. So Japanese came handy thanks to the Blind Relief Association and our executive secretary, Honorable Honorary Sri K.C. Pandisa, introduced even Japanese Braille. So we really relish. We have every Sunday Japanese classes held at Blind Relief Association, Delhi. I now coordinate those classes as volunteer and make sure that those who are interested to learn Japanese across Delhi University, schools, and even working professionals come there and learn Japanese. We facilitate that. Uh, I I started doing that in Delhi University also. I completed part-time diploma in Japanese language. That was, of course, a new domain because there came with a lot of challenges. We didn't have accessible text there as well, but I managed to do that with the help of some teachers and listening material. Cleared Japanese language proficiency test. That is international exam now level 4. I have done. I'm probably one of the pioneer visual impaired students in Delhi University and across India, perhaps. So did Japanese language visually impaired. So it seems we get some additional thing into our personality when we learn some new language. It opens up a new world. I mean, even if you don't make career out of it, it really opens up new world. I usually interact with the Japanese people. Are so sweet. The culture, the literature they have, is very much relatable to Indian scenario. So we have seminars, festive performances across Delhi and other places. Japanese and Indian, Hindi and Japanese combined songs and all our teams have been doing so in a lot of events.
So, but the only Japanese that I know is Mushi Mushi.
Moshi Moshi, hello, hello. Sayonara is most popular word, popular.
But I remember the song called Sayonara.
Sayonara, sayonara. Na? It's very fun. I mean, a lot of fun to learn language. I like Japanese. I'm quite fond of.
Okay.
So this ne.
So Deepak, like you are a professor. So if not for a professor, what would Deepak Gupta would have been?
Oh, if I had another choice, it seems certain things are predefined, yet we have certain free will. So I am also passionate about folk music, especially. I'm from Bihar and I do folk music. We have even initiated the first society absolutely dedicated to folk culture of our nation. So we have Lok Folk Society in my college. I'm coordinator, convener of that society. I founded that. along with other some teachers like minded, and we are doing some good jobs there across the Delhi region. So I think this root of our roots, which जो कहते हैं ना कि मिट्टी की खुशबू आती है, वो folk और culture मुझे बहुत भाती है. And if I were not teacher, I would focus more time on my art, music, and it's also poetry, shairi. I do kavi sammelan and all. So I would have more time to pursue that. Yet I'm happy that I'm taking out some time for those passions, and also pursuing and contributing in the cultural domain through my students. I'm in college and societies and all.
That's awesome, Deepak. Before we leave, Deepak, what is your, there are listeners who are listening to, they are in the community of visually impaired, they are parents or, friends of visually impaired, people in general. So what is your message to all of them?
Yeah, so to the PWD community, I say that yes, we have challenges and we have to have struggles, but then वही है कि जब सोना को तपाया जाता है आग में, तभी वो चमक निखर के आती है. I say these lines to my friends. I wrote, शोलों से जो बचते रहे जल्दी बिखर गए, लेकिन घड़े जो आग में निखरे वो आग में उतरे निखर गए. So we have to, play with this fire of struggle to get on, and we become the better problem solvers. We are more resilient to the troublesome experiences of life, pains and throngs of life. So that will teach us only, it make us stronger. And जो मेरे बाकी दोस्त हैं नॉन डिसेबल community, I say to them, we are one of you and we want your friendship. We don't want just sympathy or just your let's say कि आप कुछ कर रहे हैं, pity or sometimes also happen. We want the equal participation. तो आप हमारे मित्र बनिए, आप और हम मिलके we can make a better world, more inclusive, more accessible, and more hospitable for all.
Well said, Deepak. Thank you. I want to thank you for being here and sharing your thoughts and sharing about your journey. It has been an amazing conversation with you, and we are so happy that we could make.
Same here. Wonderful talking to you. The questions and the discussion has been really thought provoking. And thank you so much for inviting me for this excellent discussion.
Our pleasure, Deepak. And to all our listeners, this is Insights Talk Show. We keep inviting interesting, well-known guests or who have contributed, in their own way to the visually impaired community. And if you want to be a part of this show, you can drop us your comments, and we'll be leaving out our phone number and the contact details in the, comment section. And we'll be back soon with another show and with another wonderful guest. So till then, we hope you have a lovely weekend. Take care. Bye bye from us.